Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live coaching session. It is Friday, February 27th, and I'm actually on time today. I am very excited to get all of your questions answered. A couple of you have submitted questions ahead of time, some of which are really, really good. I hope you guys are on here today because I want you to hear these answers. And if you're not, hopefully you're watching this and you'll hear them then. I want to begin like I do all of these sessions. And for those of you who are brand new, never did one of these before, welcome to the group coaching experience, where I am going to begin the conversation by asking you all for one win, something positive that's happened in your either very beginnings of starting a web design business or your 14th year of running a web design business with us. Yes, that's right. We started going on 14 years ago. Does that number sound right? Is it 14 or 15? I've got to ask my team how many years we have been running SiteSwan, because I literally just blanked. It's either 14 or 15. I'm getting an answer right now. Anyway, whatever your win is, if it's something associated with starting a business or growing your business, or I don't care. I want to hear it. It could be as simple as, hey, I watched one of the training videos. It could be that you launch your marketing website. And if you want to post the link, by all means. One of the cool things about the questions tab where you're going to post these wins is that only myself and my team can see them. No one else can see them. We do that so that this is year 15. Thank you. Yes, I should know this is year 15 of SiteSwan. So if it's your 15th year working with us and you got some wins, I want to hear it. And the questions tab is where you're going to post all communication to me and the team. We don't open it up because that's a distraction for everyone. And then you're too busy chatting with someone else instead of focusing on what we're doing here today. So questions tab, post a win. I'm going to read all them out loud. I'm not going to say last names for privacy concerns, and we'll take it from there. Ready, set, go. Michael has 2 new customers onboarding. That is amazing. That is awesome. Eric's got a question. We're going to get to that in a bit. Jason has launched 2 sites this week and signing up another one next week. Love that. Mike's always got wins. Sold a site to a photographer on Long Island and upsold a client with social media management. Mike, tell us about the social media management. Are you doing it yourself? I think you are, because in our chat, which is on YouTube, if you guys don't, you want to know who I'm talking about right now, Mike's our superstar. He's somewhere over here as soon as I find it. Mike is a dedicated coaching call attendee. He's right here. Guys, check this out. He left dropshipping and affiliate marketing for web design. That's in our YouTube. So I want to know what you did for the social media management. Angela completed the training videos. Congratulations, Angela. That's part of your pre-launch checklist. Joe did a website redesign for an existing client, waived the setup fee, so the design was free. He loved the end result so much, that he insisted that I charge him a setup fee. I still gave him a discount, but that was an extra $300 I didn't count on. Someone else on this call has a story exactly like this, and I want that person to tell that story as well. You know who you are, okay? I want to hear a story just like that from someone else as a win. Kevin says, I got a new lead this week. What's up, Kevin? It's for an attorney that wants to focus on the HOA side of his practice. Hey, that could be cool. Let's see if he's going to say it. Ryan sold a site in his first week and already got several referrals from that. That is awesome. Elbow, nudge, nudge. Ryan, I want to hear the win that sounds exactly like Joe's, with loving the end results so much they insisting on you charging them. Let's see. We got okay, so Mike clarified something for us with the social media management. He's actually white labeling the concept of social media management and has been pretty pleased with that so far. Cool. I'm going to check into that, Mike, and see what the deal is there. Linton got a lead for a welder this week. Jackie just joined last month, has already launched not one, not two, but 3 sites and about to launch their 4th. Love SiteSwan, been doing web design since 2005. And this is by far the best system, so easy to use. Jackie, can you do me a favor? Can you copy and paste that and Google SiteSwan and post a review? By the way, we're going to do something special today for anyone who believes in what we're doing here at SiteSwan. Google SiteSwan, click on reviews, 116 reviews, something like that. It's just so cool. Guys, if you are so nice as to post a win, like one of these is a perfect example, I'm going to send you a water bottle just like this. Now, I do have at least 3 that I can send out. So if you guys want one of these, do me a favor. Go ahead and post a review with a win that you've had on. I'm not going to ask for star ratings. I'm just going to ask. Yeah, I mean, you have to choose a number of stars, but go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna do my best to get you one of these as soon as possible. It's cool. It's double wall insulated. It's got a straw built in. It's so cool. Gave this out to our team for our offsite late last year, and everyone loves them. Jackie's also got a question we're going to get to in a bit. Gallerol said currently signing up 1 new client, which is a real estate agent. Fantastic. Oh, here it is. Here's our here's our win that sounds exactly like someone else's. Ryan goes, my first client also wanted a 2nd site made, this time insisting that I charge him the setup fee for a podcast / book project. So that's kind of cool. So Ryan sold a site, his very first site, and the guy's like, no, I need another site done, but this time you're going to charge me a setup fee. And that's what happens when you do really good work. Just, that's what my family calls me instead of Justin. Launched marketing website, fantastic. Did 25 cold calls already, awesome. And completed the first demo today. Very nice. Very interested. A few warm leads. So I want to just talk about something. If you are doing your demo call, that means you're presenting the website to the client. Did you ask for the sale? And what happened? Because that should be the end goal of any demo review, is getting the sale asked for. Okay. Jackie says, my husband's between jobs right now. He's watched most of the trainings and has been able to quickly learn how to be my web design assistant. Nice. Awesome. All right, we got questions coming in. Monica posted a question. We're going to get to all of these. Eric, thank you for the questions. We will absolutely do it. And Jamie also, I missed this one. Jamie says, I'm my 3rd year. I sold 2 or 3 sites. I don't know, in the last 30 days, I'm working on 2 more demos. That is so cool. You know, some people think that some people, she clarified, Jamie clarified 3 sites. Some people think that and I see this all too often, is that you get started with something and it's exciting at first and you do the thing for a while, and then a certain level of monotony kicks in. I will tell you that if you are willing to work past a bit of monotony, you will find success on the other end of that. You know what's also monotonous but not boring is a recurring monthly payment that shows up in your bank account every single month. There's monotony there too, but that's a nice type of monotony. Okay. So do what Jamie's doing. Jamie's been around with us for a while, and Jamie's in the saddle and closing deals. Year 3 continues to go, continues to find wins, continues to stack the recurring income. The questions are coming in. I love it. Let's get to the questions. Now, I want to do what I always do, and that's get to the questions of those who have submitted their questions ahead of time. I'd really appreciate that. And most of those people, by the looks of it, are here today. So I'm going to go one by one, and we are going to tackle these. So Mike is starting things off by asking, I don't plan for this ever to happen, but, and by the way, if my face is bigger than my screen, it shouldn't be that way. You can adjust the screens. Well, I'm just going to do it just because I know it's going to happen. Someone's going to say something. All right, now everyone should have my screen larger than my face, okay? Mike's wondering if there just happens to be a day where his card doesn't go through, what happens? Meaning, does everything come offline? Do I have a grace period, etc.? So yeah, we understand something that's, you're using our platform to run your entire web design business, and that having something go offline would be extremely detrimental, right? So we take that very seriously, and we also understand that things happen sometimes. Cards get hacked, etc. As a business owner, you probably already have one or two backup credit cards that you would have in case of an emergency, where you can pop onto a different card if a card went bad, for a variety of purposes, not just for this. But in the event that did happen, we do have a grace period. So if your payment fails, you have between 15 and 30 days to correct that before anything comes offline. And you will get multiple notifications about that before. And if you do run into a situation with extraneous circumstances of, whatever, lost card or whatever, reach out to us on support, and we're more than happy to help guide you through exactly what your options are so that nothing terrible happens. Okay? So rest assured, you will not have your site taken offline the moment a payment fails. Henrique says, just wondering if you could share some advice on this topic. I got a few scheduled demo calls. I love this question, by the way. A few scheduled demo calls. I sent calendar invites, but every time I call for the demo, they're either not available, don't pick up the call, or simply say they're not interested without ever starting the demo. This is frustrating, as I had my hopes high after finally scheduling a demo after so many cold calls. Any words of encouragement so I continue on the path to business ownership? Guys, I have the perfect solution to this, but I want to know if any of you have experienced this, where you have a situation where you've booked a demo for, let's say, Wednesday of next week, Thursday next week, and then you call exactly at the time you promised them you would call, and they don't pick up, no show, say they can't do it, etc. Does anyone know my secret for success and how to avoid this? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? Post it as a question. Anyone? No? Really? Okay, here it comes. There you go. Mike's got it. Good. Ryan's got it too. So we are going to text them a question. Okay. This is a tried and true solution that I guarantee is going to help you find success. You text them a question about their business. You are going to specifically text them things like, hey, I see that you're open Saturdays from 9 to 3. Is that correct? Yes. You are going to get a response. If you get a response, that person is 99% more likely to show up for the call than if you don't text them and get a response from them. If they ghost you, you can pretty much guarantee you're not going to have them show up. Another type of question you can ask is like, let's say you can't find their logo, and this is like a legit, like, I need information. Like, hey, does your business have a logo that I could use on the website design? And if they get you that, I can guarantee you they will show up for the call. It's important you ask them a question about their business, something that would be relevant to what you might actually use on their site. And if they answer, they're much more likely to show up. Okay? That is my best answer. Do it. You won't regret it. And by the way, let's say your demo is 4 or 5 days out. Okay? So I call someone today, they book for Thursday of next week or Friday, whatever. I don't love doing demos on Fridays, but let's say it's Thursday of next week. All right. I'm going to text them either today or on Monday, and I'll say, hey, blah, 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 ask that question, get a response. Great. Now that I have that response, what I'm going to do is on Wednesday at the exact same time I'm supposed to do it on Thursday. So it's Thursday, 1 o'clock. Wednesday at 1 o'clock, I'm like, hey, I'm looking forward to showing you the site tomorrow at this time. It's all set and ready to go. I'm super excited to show it to you. And if they can't make it, they're going to tell you that and then find another time. Otherwise, they'll be like, yep, I'm ready for it. I'm excited too. And then you get to show it off. Jamie, who's on this call, Jamie says, can monthly billing dates be adjusted? I'm asking because I'd like to start offering my clients a free month of service for closed referrals. I'm wondering if I can move the next payment date ahead by 1 month. So, Jamie, that's not a feature that we have built into the platform. But what Jamie's saying is that this is an active paying client, okay? And their next excuse me, their current period is from the 11th of February through the 11th of March. Okay. So what they want to do is they want to basically not charge the client on the 11th of March and then just have them pay in April. The only way to do this, the only way to do it within our platform is to go here and actually cancel the subscription and then restart it. A couple of caveats, okay? Well, actually, one caveat, but some good news as well. If you cancel a subscription, for those of you who've never had to do this before, if you cancel a subscription, you can reinstate the subscription immediately without getting the card number from the client again. So you don't have to worry about collecting data again from the client. It's already in the system. Okay, that's one good thing to remember. The second thing is that if you were to restart the subscription, you can't go more than 30 days in the future. So you would be unable to immediately restart the subscription more than 30 days in the future, which would be the case. Okay. So the best thing I could do is say cancel the subscription and then wait until after March 11th and then restart the subscription beginning April 11th. That is my best solution for you built into the platform. Now, if you log in directly to your Stripe account, you can add a coupon or a discount to their subscription and that you could basically zero it out. Okay. I don't know enough about Stripe to tell you exactly how to do that. I'm not going to demo it for you, but I know it can be done. If you want to look at their support articles, just play around in there, you should be able to figure it out. All right, we have a few different questions from Galleral, and I'm going to attempt to go through these in succession because they're kind of all related. The first one is, how do I embed a video on one of the website pages so it plays automatically? So I'll tell you something about this, and that is that it's not best practice, okay? Having a video play automatically is not good for usability. Number one, it could produce sound that someone wasn't expecting. Number two, it could be a distraction to whatever else that's on that page. It's just not a good idea. Can you do it? Yeah. How would you do it? You'd go to YouTube and you would actually find the video and you would actually go to embed this video right from the here it is. No, share, embed, and here's the embed code, and you have some embed options. Oh, do they even let you play automatically? They might not even let you play automatically anymore. Um, They might not, and for good reason. If someone knows how to do this, let me know, but I don't think it's still an option. Um, I don't know. If someone knows how to do this, please let me know, but I don't recall it being a thing we can do anymore. Brian might know actually, but I don't know. Yeah. I wouldn't make it a I honestly wouldn't make it a uh, something I'd be offering to my clients or even suggesting to my clients because it's just not good practice. The second thing is how to download Facebook streaming videos for placement on the website. I don't think Facebook's going to let you download anything when it comes to videos, so I don't see that being an option. Now, can you embed a Facebook video streaming video for placement on a website? Let's find out. Can you embed a Facebook video on a website? Apparently you can. You can click the three dots and do embed. Okay, so very similar to how I just showed you on YouTube. Same thing can be done on Facebook. But can it autoplay? I do not know the answer to that question. The third question is going to be, platform specific there. Is there a specific picture size requirement to ensure proper display on the website? So automatically, we are adjusting the image sizes so that they load quickly on the size screen the client is using. So you never really have to worry about that. The only thing you have to be concerned about, Galleral, is just uploading an image that's too small, because we really can't do much with that. You can do upsizing and stuff. We don't have anything that automatically does that and just ends up being grainy and pixelated and just not good. So don't ever be concerned about sending us a giant image. We will scale it down, size it down appropriately so that it fits properly. I'm assuming you were talking about file size when you asked about that. So if that's not the case, let me know. but I think we answered that. And the last question that Galleril has is, are you able to guide me on how to change a company's logo from PNG to a JPEG format? So what's interesting is that when you upload the image to our platform, we kind of dismiss the original file type that you gave us. And I'm going to do a quick little lesson for you guys on PNG versus JPEG. Okay. So PNG files are files that, let me just see if I can show you in a quick example. PNG files are files that have a transparent background. You see when I drag this image, I can see right behind it. Okay. This is a transparent background image. And this is a feature that's only supported in PNG, GIF, or GIF. I like to say GIF, and like WebP images and stuff like that. JPEGs absolutely 100% do not support transparency. I consider a PNG file to be a more versatile image file format, and I kind of gravitate to that in a lot of scenarios. Unless it's a really nice photo, then I want to have that as a JPEG because they give you a little more detail without blowing up the file size. So when it comes to adding anything to a SiteSwan site, you kind of don't have to worry about converting anything before you upload it, because if it's got transparency, we're going to preserve the transparency. If it doesn't have transparency, we're not going to create transparency from it. So you really don't have to worry about that. The good news is that if you did need to do that for a totally different purpose, and this is not a SiteSwan question, you can just simply type PNG to JPG, and you will find approximately 1 million different sites that will do the conversion for you in about 10 seconds. So it's a very readily available thing that you don't even have to know an image editor function to do effectively. But again, for our platform, it doesn't make a difference. Jeffrey says, at what step of the sales process before you ask, sorry, at what step of the sales process do you ask for this, before you ask for the sale, sorry, do you talk about pricing? So basically, when do you talk about pricing? So it all depends on the type of outreach that you're doing, okay? Not too long ago, well, I'll start with this. If you are using our scripts for doing, let's say, cold outreach, we encourage you to lead with the idea that you are offering an affordable website solution that's less than $500 up front, less than $100 a month. Those are some of the things that are going to draw someone to say yes to seeing the demo. So they already have an idea about the price range at the very least before you show them anything. So that's great. Other times, let's say you're doing a warm outreach or something like that, at some point the topic about price is going to come up, and I don't want any of you to waste your time doing a design if someone is just clearly, if they're on day 5 of running their business and they have $0, then it's not going to be a very effective strategy to show them a demo and expose them to your pricing if they're just completely out of their price range. Most small businesses, especially if they have a storefront, if they have any prior experience and visibility, they should be able to easily put your setup fee and your monthly fee on any one of their credit cards without an issue. But it's still helpful to give them a frame of mind for how much it is that you charge. So if you have the slightest suspicion that they can't swing your pricing, then make sure that you mention that to them during your initial conversation before you show them the design. In all the other cases, because we're talking about extremely competitive pricing here, right? Our suggested minimum retail price is $499 up front, $49 per month. You can easily take that up to $1,100 a month and still be well within the range of a very affordable website solution. I have done countless demos where I don't expose the pricing to them until I'm actually doing the demo. At the conclusion of the demo, I'll say something like, so what's your knee-jerk reaction? Now, I know what you're thinking. You probably think this is going to be a $3,000 or a $5,000 site because of the effort and the professionalism and everything that you've seen here so far. But I can assure you my pricing is nowhere near that amount. and then I talk about what my pricing actually is. So in order to get started, all I need is the setup fee of $799, and we'll get to work on finishing the rest of the site and have it ready to launch in about 3 days. What kind of card do you want to use? So again, we're talking about fees that are not going to break anyone's bank. So if you're doing cold calling, you're leading with the price, it's already coming up. If you are doing any sort of warm outreach, you're going to give them a sense of what it might be. If they ask specifically, by all means, tell them. I also have a recommendation that's built into, it was in the video that we did around the holidays for selling to friends and family, essentially. Here it is, this one here. How to sell a website at your next holiday gathering. I'm surprised how few views this has because it was a great session and so many people told me they got a lot out of it. But we even went so far as to produce a separate resource that gives you a framework for how you might pitch a website to people in your immediate network. So it's the friends and family pricing worksheet. And in here, I talk about how you would discuss price, especially in a family gathering kind of setting that doesn't start to feel awkward and uncomfortable. So if you guys haven't checked this out, click on this link, download this worksheet. It's totally free. It's in your resources section of your dashboard. I think you might get some use out of it. Next question is, I'm just trying to make sure I don't have any questions that are about what I'm saying that I'm missing. Okay, cool. I don't think so. Okay, good. So next up, this one I like a lot. This is from Michael. Michael's saying, hey, I just joined my local Chamber of Commerce based on your suggestion in the past video. Is there a strategy to maximize the benefits of membership? So Michael, first of all, I'm glad that you're not just consuming the content, you're actually taking action with it. So congratulations on joining the Chamber of Commerce. That is awesome, awesome news. And everyone here should be strongly considering spending whatever it is, 100 or 200 bucks, joining the local Chamber of Commerce and showing up at the meetings. So let's talk strategy with Chambers of Commerce. Okay. A couple of things come to mind immediately. The first thing that I will say is I've been a member of many chambers of commerce. The first thing is that this is a networking experience. This is not a sales effort, okay? You are going to want to network with people. More specifically, you're going to get out of the selling mindset and more of the positioning mindset of like, I am the website expert. How can I help the people in this room? Chambers of Commerce are big about we all help each other. And from a networking perspective, I could tell you that there's going to be a lot of people and they were very specific businesses that they have. They know they can't sell to everyone within the chamber and they often try not to. What they do try to do is come off as an expert in what they do so that someone else, when someone asks, hey, do you know someone who does blah, blah, blah? They'll immediately think, the person in my chamber of commerce who I see once a month, who's local and I can trust and rely on, talk to them. This happened with me with a guy who does home inspections when I was joining a chamber of commerce. And this guy just always made himself known. He knew that he didn't need to pitch services because it's not every day that someone needs a home inspection, right? For the amount of times that someone is buying or selling a house and need to inspect a home, it's not an everyday problem someone has, right? So it's a problem that some people don't have more than once every 20 years or 50 years for that matter. But he made himself known and he was a likable person who seemed like he was good at his job. The instant that I knew someone who was selling their home or buying a new home, I said to them, stop what you're doing. You're going to need a home inspector, and I have the perfect person for you. It's this person. And I gave him his information, and I would send this guy referrals whenever I had the opportunity. I eventually bought a house and hired him for my purposes, actually 3 times. But that was something that if I didn't see this guy in the chamber, I wouldn't have been able to make the referrals. And I've gotten this guy literally probably over $10,000 worth of business because of the people who I know who need an inspector, who were curious. I sent their way and they were all very happy. So that's really what the Chamber of Commerce is about. It's about making yourself known as the expert or the professional in your market, so that when someone says, do you know anyone who might do this for me? And if it's a website, they're going to immediately point to you. The other thing I would say is that there's oftentimes committees within the Chamber of Commerce that you can join to help out with. So maybe it's a local exposure committee. Maybe it's the website committee. Because every Chamber of Commerce has a website, and they might just want to consult and talk about what. And I'm not saying you should do their website, because that's like they're not easy sites to work on. There's a lot of things they need that make them a non-atypical small business. Therefore, we don't have a theme for it. It's just a lot of moving parts there. But you could certainly get on a committee, and when other people find that, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about, or this person knows what they're talking about, again, you're going to get that credibility. I would also recommend that you consider offering to do a short presentation for the group, which usually every Chamber of Commerce meeting will have some sort of opportunity for an individual to make a presentation. So you might do something like, hey, here's 5 website mistakes that local businesses always make. Or here's how I can get more clients from Google without running ads. And these are things you can that discuss digital marketing that could be very helpful to people, that you can intelligently speak about. And you could reference our blog articles and our resources if you need help coming up with some of the points that you want to make in that presentation. The last thing I will say is that I'm someone who not only went to a lot of Chamber of Commerce meetings, but also went to a lot of conventions and conferences. And early on, I would go to these conferences and these meetings, and then much, much, much later, I would look at the business cards I collected and say, "Huh, okay, this person was a good person to meet." When I think it was my 3rd year of going to the conferences, and I reversed that, turned the entire process upside down. And I said, no, no, no. Before I even decide if I'm going to join anything and make an effort to go, I want to know who's already going. So what I would do is I would comb through the entire list and figure out who are the people who I want to meet. Who are the people who either would be a great resource for me to get referrals from, or someone who I would label a prime prospect. And I wouldn't go and try to sell them, but I'd certainly get to know them. If you focus your energy on getting to know people who could ultimately give you business later on, that is something that will allow you to be much more effective in your relationship building within the Chamber of Commerce. So those are my general tips for joining a Chamber of Commerce. It's something I think everybody should strongly consider doing, because from a local exposure and marketing and a networking perspective, it's tough to beat. Okay. Let's talk about what Eric asked. No, actually, do I have one more from previously? I do. 2 more. I'm going to get to these really quickly, and then we'll get on to the ones you guys are asking right now. So Daryl says, have you had any challenges with changing the domain from a customer's existing website to the new SiteSwan website? Does the support team help in assisting with those issues? 100%, Daryl. If you have any concerns about taking an existing website's domain and pointing it over to SiteSwan, just send a note to us and we're happy to help. What are some of the things you want to look for? So it's possible that a previous website that a client had was had a lot of URLs that were really funky. Instead of a contact page, it was like contact us ? ID equals 34.php, like all this gobbledygook. All right, it's not super uncommon. So now, well, what's the problem with this? The problem with this is that this is a URL you can't replicate on the SiteSwan platform. Our URLs only support letters and numbers and hyphens, essentially. So if their contact us page looked like this, When you launch the new site, despite you naming it Contact Us, the URL is not going to look like this. So any URLs that are already in search results for them will just not work anymore. And that's less than ideal. So I'll show you what you can do. You can take everything that's after the .com/ and you can copy it. And again, this is before you launch the new site. And from the site that you're working on, I'm just going to go to any of my sites here. From the site that you're working on, you are going to go to the settings tab up top here and go to URL rewrites. And then from here, you're going to add a new URL rewrite. So what happens is I'm going to paste in my URL from the old site, and I'm going to redirect it to the new page for Contact Us on the new site. So that means once I click save, that means that when someone hits this gobbledygook URL, because it already exists in a cached Google result, they will get my new Contact Us page on the new site and not a broken URL. So that is one thing to kind of keep in mind when you're moving a site that already exists to the SiteSwan platform. There's a couple of very small other things that can sometimes happen with domains, but they're super rare. But if you have concerns, absolutely reach out, grant us access to the domain name. We'll help you point it over. Kevin asked, SiteSwan does a good job of applying site-wide SEO out of the gate. Thank you very much. I happen to agree with you. But 2 questions on that. Number 1, do you recommend applying SEO to every page? 100% yes. And 2, how often should you tweak the SEO? So the per page SEO is very simple to do. It's just from the per page basis. And that is going to allow you to be able to get hyper specific with your SEO terms. It's great, especially if you have broken down services pages. So if like I wanted to do automotive tinting as its own page, that'd be really, really helpful to me. So I can actually have very, very specific terms associated with the SEO. So all I got to do is toggle this on. It says use page specific SEO, and then follow our lead. Like take exactly what we have here, copy this, put it in here, and just swap it out. So instead of about ABC plumbing, this is going to be 787 window tint automotive tinting. And you're going to rename, it's not trusted local plumbers. No, it's not. It's trusted local window tinting, right? In whatever city they're in. So doing this is going to take a couple of minutes and it will have really great long-term benefits. How often should you tweak the SEO? It really depends on how the site's performing, and it also depends on how the site's evolving over time. So if I just recently got into this with a wellness company that we run their website for, and they're going through a bit of a transition with their primary services, and they wanted to put a little more emphasis on things like weight loss and stuff like that. So we want to go back into the SEO and we want to focus on the core 4 services that they offer and make sure that that appears not only throughout the site, but also aligns with the SEO terms. And is a good idea to get with your clients every at least 3 months and just have a quick conversation with them like, hey, it's been 3 months since our last chat. Seasons have changed. Tell me what's changed in your business. And they might reveal something to you that you say, that should be on the website. And when you do that, you'll naturally think, well, if it's on the website, I should have it reflected in my SEO terms. And then you make the changes there. The only other time you really want to make significant changes to SEO is if there are patterns that have changed with how people are describing whatever it is that company does. So if there is a new term or an abbreviated term or whatever that people are now using to describe that service, it is important that you embed that within the site and of course SEO terms as well. Cool? Cool. Let's get into the questions you guys are asking right now. Eric says, I think Eric posted 2 questions. I'm going to try and find the first one. Where is it? It was kind of early on. That was just a quick question we were able to handle for you. Okay. Eric wants to know about email addresses. Specifically, what are the caveats of offering emails to our website clients? Do we only provide emails if the customer requests it? Do you recommend that we charge extra? Eric, I recommend you run far away from that. I actually have a video on this, which I will try to find right now, which will tell you exactly why you should not do this. Let's see. Here it is. Why web designers should never offer email addresses with websites. This is the absolute best advice I can give you. Just don't do it. You're going to want to avoid asking the client about it. And if they ask about it, make sure they know that changing an email address is not like changing your pants. It is a significant amount of work to get everything switched over. And then you, my friend, are going to become their IT person without even asking for it. And you're also going to be expected to do it for free. So at all costs, avoid doing it. And if you are going to do it, charge at least $150, $200 to do it, because you'll be finding yourself doing a little research and spending some time doing a migration, all sorts of stuff. So do not jump into that. It's not worth any amount of money that they might be, you might be initially discussing with them to manage the email. It's just a nightmare. Just says yes, but they said they need to. Oh, sorry, this was in a response to something else. What was the original question from Just B? I would love if someone could post that for me. This way I can answer it in its complete context. All right. Joe says, I have a lot of wide entries in the navigation bar. Is there a way to control the width of the navigation area other than monkeying with font sizes? I can't get all the navigation items on one line on a laptop. So I'm going to see if I can pull up the site, because he did give us the link and I see exactly what we're talking about. Okay. Let's take a look at this together, folks. This is a site that's got some long page names. And when you deal with long page names, unless you have a really wide screen like I'm showing you now, they're going to get bumped onto multiple lines. Let me just show you exactly what we're talking about. If I shrink my monitor screen down a little bit, they immediately go to 2 lines. And this is not what the client wants, I'm going to assume. So the first glaring opportunity that I feel you could do is to, I would say, easiest thing, our services is a drop down, just like about me is a drop down. Okay. Our services becomes a drop down, and then you list these 3 on the drop down. That would be my number one suggestion. Or our attuned approaches, and then make that, instead of our services, attuned approaches drop down, and you have all 3 of those listed. That'd be the absolute best way to do it. There's just too many words. No 2 ways about it. There's too many words on these page titles. Not a good way to circumvent that besides using a drop down. Jeffrey says, what are your thoughts on doing a demo via Zoom instead of in person? The client lives 48 miles away. Jeffrey, I don't think either is necessary. Do as we suggest and just have a phone call. Just call them up and walk them through it. We clearly outlined this in the resources section training video. It's lesson number 9. Literally my favorite lesson, how to present a website demo to a prospect. We clearly outline all the steps. And at no point do we say you have to do this in person or via Zoom. I've sold well over 100 websites over the phone, and it works just fine. All right, Justice saying, a lot of folks are without a website or Facebook page. They've been doing this for many years, and they're busy enough. They don't need more customers. I love this. Any way to get these folks convinced they need a website, or just move on? So a couple answers to this, okay? Oftentimes you hear this from people who are doing all the work themselves, okay? I'm busy, we're busy. I just don't need more business right now. So the question becomes, so what I hear you saying is that you are so good at what you do that people can't stop referring you. By any chance, are you the one who people are actually referring? Like, are they referring you yourself? And 9.5 times out of 10, the answer is yes to that question. They're referring the individual. They're not referring the business so much, they're referring the individual. People who give extreme attention to their clientele are very good at getting word of mouth referrals. It's one of the best ways to run and grow a business until the owner can't show up for service. It's going to happen. So your conversation with them is basically saying, look, I understand the reason you're so busy is because you're the one doing all the work. You're astounding your clients with top-notch customer service. But here's the deal, Mr. Business Owner. There's going to come a day someday, I hope it's not soon, that you're not going to be able to get to a job. And you're going to have to send somebody else there instead. God forbid something happens. We've done injuries to ourselves. We twist a knee, we hurt our back, whatever it is, you can't show up. You send somebody else. Is that other person going to do exactly as good of a job as you will do? No, of course not. I'm not. Exactly. So what's going to happen then when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you can't show up to service your clients? You send somebody in your place, and because it's not you, you cannot be guaranteed you will get the same number of referrals and word of mouth recommendations that you do right now when you're showing up. What happens then? You are going to have to start from scratch with your marketing efforts and website to start getting business that is not earned by you, the business owner, doing a fantastic job. I want you to consider the website as an insurance policy on your word of mouth referrals. Because if and when a day comes where you can't show up, you will still be able to get business and new business from the people who are finding you online, discovering what's so great about you, and deciding to work with you. And here's another thing, Mr. Business Owner. I guarantee you that people are referring you even more than the number of referrals you get. What do you mean? I'll tell you what I mean. What do you think the first thing people do is when they get a referral about a local service company? They go online and they look them up. Because as much as I like my cousin Debbie and her recommendations and referrals, sometimes they're not so good. Okay. So I am going to take what she says and I'm going to do my own research on top of that. What I'm looking for is validation that what that person has said about you is true. And if I can't find a darn thing about you, if I got to log into Facebook to learn about you, if I got to go, it's not going to work. I'm not going to call. I'm probably not going to do business with you. A website is a form of credibility that if you don't have it, you're going to lose the opportunity to win referrals that you could have easily gotten if you had just had a really good website. So those are two really strong reasons for why someone who says, I'm busy enough, I got word of mouth, everything is just fine the way it is. Yeah, it's fine until it's not. And I want to help you avoid that horrible day when you realize, shoot, my leads have dried up because I'm not getting the referrals I used to. And also a referral is great. Like I said, it's one of the best ways to grow a business, but there is nothing permanent about that. Consumer opinions can change, other things can happen, and then you've lost all of your opportunities. There's really no momentum behind that. The other thing I will share with you is that in the resources section of your dashboard, you have another document called, this is an oldie but goodie. This, by the way, this concern is as old as time. 5 reasons why every small business needs a website. It's more than just this, okay? You have lots of things you got to consider. Not only will it help you find new customers, but it builds trust and credibility. You can save time and money answering the same questions over and over again every time someone calls or emails you when they could just go online and find the answers themselves. You can help prevent negative reviews by being in their face and willing to accept feedback through the website. And you can increase your bottom line in a number of different ways. So the website has a lot of uses beyond just winning customers. It actually is a form of stabilizing the business and helping you become a lot more efficient as a small business owner. All right, that was a mouthful. Great question. Thanks for bringing that up. Osiris is from Mexico and says, can you suggest a sales technique that gets me my first paid customer today? No, I don't have one for you. Let's be realistic, okay? Getting a paying client today, same day, right now, right here for a website is not an easy task. Everything about the sales process, no matter what you're selling, takes at least a little bit of time. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you if you do everything we say, you can get a client today. It's probably not going to happen. But what will happen is if you are consistent and you're willing to put in the time, not just today, but tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day, you will find that over time, if you follow our 14-day launch plan, this is your secret to success. Do the things that we outline in this document and follow it word for word. And I guarantee, and people right here will testify to me right now. If I ask who here has found success going through the 14-day launch plan, I'm going to get 6 hands come up immediately. And if you want to prove me right now, in the questions tab, just write, I have, if you have found success using the 14-day launch plan, because that is the name of the game. But I'll tell you, for every single person who writes I have, I can also assure you they did not get a client their first day in the 14-day launch plan. They were consistent. They put in time and effort to eventually close a deal. And a lot of people do it. They get it within their first 14 days. A lot of people go beyond 14 days. Everyone's different. Everyone devotes a different amount of time to the effort that they put in to their web design business. So the one thing that doesn't change is that consistency pays off, but expecting to get immediate results, I can't guarantee it. Jackie says, I noticed there's a privacy policy page automatically added for all templates. It'd be great if there was also a terms and conditions page automatically added as well. I agree with you, Jackie, and that's something that we are working on behind the scenes. Wendy asks, you've suggested Equid, by the way, if you guys don't know, ECWID is how you spell it, ECWID. Is something we've suggested in the past for e-commerce sites if the client doesn't want to use PayPal or the built-in e-commerce solution that we have. And yes, I would say it's fairly easy to build something and get it embedded into the site. But again, I know Wendy's heard this before. For those of you who haven't, if a client's asking you to do e-commerce and it's one of your first 12 sites that you're trying to launch, run, okay? Oftentimes, e-commerce sites turn into much, much crazier concepts than they start out being. There is literally no end in sight for an e-commerce website. You can never charge enough to earn a decent profit off of building an e-commerce website, especially not in the beginning when you're first getting started. It's going to bog you down. Okay. All right. Mike says, I can't figure out what scaling is on site backgrounds or what the different options mean. Yeah. So this used to have a lot more impact when things were different on our platform, but we kind of preserved it. So let's just say I'd add an image. And these are all going to be terrible options. I'll use this one. All right, so we have scaling. So the reason we have 3 different options is back in the day, I have some screenshots of this, and the SiteSwan platform used to be 2 columns, and then you used to see the background on both sides, the top and the bottom. And the background image was actually a really big part of what made the sites look different. So this kind of get carried over from there, but it still does have some purposes today. So what we do is this. So a normal background is going to keep the image exactly the size you uploaded it as, basically centered in the background of the entire site. Okay. Now, where is this visible? Well, it's not visible in a lot of places. The first thing it would be visible is in the header if I dial down the opacity of my header. The second thing is going to be in the footer if I dial down the opacity in my footer, which is currently the case right now. It's like 80%. So I'm able to see the background image. Now, if I change it to full, what's going to happen is it's going to basically stretch or fill the entire browser area. So basically, as I shrink down my screen, it's going to have an effect on my background image. As opposed to when it's normal, it's got a totally different, it just stays there, okay? It's not going to do anything. And then the third one's going to be tile. Now, it's not going to have an effect on this one because I uploaded a relatively large image. But if I had a small image, like let's just find a different image. Like this would be a terrible, terrible thing to do. But see how now it's tiled? It's repeating itself over and over again. That's what the tile function is for. So normal would be one image in the middle. Tile repeats it, full expands it. Does that help, Mike? Hope it does. Not a lot of people use site background images, but if you did and you were to, that's what you can do. All right, Just says launching a marketing website. Oh yeah, so let me just go back to this. So to point to what Osiris was talking about, Just was nice enough to include some of their efforts and specifically said that they were able to complete their first demo call on 25 cold calls. And 25 a day is not a lot to make, by the way. It will pay off because sales is seriously just a numbers game. Like literally, the more people you reach out to, the more results you're going to get. Period. End of sentence. That's always going to be the case. Jackie says in the header, I'd like to make a bar above the menu area that has social media links and a phone number, etc. How do I add this? At the moment, Jackie, that's not something you can do above the header built into our platform, but we're working on it. In the meantime, we have this resource called, if you want to check them out, called ElfSite. And if you go there, you are going to see an option that allows you to do, it's called, so if you want to just do social media icons, no, it's going to be, where is it? I'm gonna have to find it. I know it's somewhere. I'm looking past it, but it's basically gonna be a bar, and you can put it at the very, very top of your site, and you can do a lot of different things with it. I'm gonna try and find it for you, and let's do this. Let's create a support ticket for Jackie, and then we'll get back to them about this question. All right, let's see what else I can answer. Just says, what are the top 3 businesses you would recommend starting with? I don't have a recommendation for you outside of what we recommend in the 14-day launch plan. Every market's different, so you have to take serious consideration about what your particular market allows you to have success in based on the industries available to you. One example I like to give is if you're landlocked for 100 miles in every direction, you're probably not going to, focus on boat upholstery repair. Okay, it's just not going to make sense for you. So I want you to consider, like, if you have businesses in your area and there's an abundance of them, then it's probably a good place to consider starting. These are some industries that work in almost every market. I would strongly recommend you consider these, but I'd also recommend you think about what appeals to you, which of our themes you like the best, because you're going to work off of our themes, and do some quick searches in the local prospecting tool and figure out, are there enough opportunities in a reasonable distance for me that would allow me to call 5 new businesses every single day for these industries. You can absolutely go outside your market. You don't have to stick within your market 100%, but it's kind of nice if you are in your market because you can get well known and really corner your particular market as the best website provider solution. This is a little bit more of a question a little further down the line here, but Mike is saying, I see ads sometimes for SiteSwan that look like UGC, which is user-generated content creators. Any recommendations on platforms? I don't have any. We don't source them ourselves, so I don't. I know there's some AI stuff now you could do, but I don't have anything specific. Oh, did Jackie just solve it for us? Is it let me see. Jackie might have just found the ElfSite thing that we're looking for. Is it announcement bar? I think it is. Yes, this is it. And I think they allow you to have social icons in here. But this announcement bar will go right across the top of the site. I think they allow. Do they allow icons in there? Style, button, badge, settings. I don't know. It might be. Maybe not. I mean, it could do other things for you, but maybe just not the social icon aspect of what you're looking for. But it's definitely somewhere to start. But we are working on some additional header designs as well. Yes, there is a cost to work with ElfSite, but they have a lot of different tools you can embed in a lot of different sites. I think that you'll find their pricing pretty affordable. A lot of our clients do use them just to have that extra kind of, stuff as needed. But, take into consideration that with an additional cost, I would probably recommend that you're not doing this 100% for free for your clients, okay? Because this stuff, as simple as it might sound to them, and as simple as it even might sound to you, there are additional considerations to take into account. It's a different platform you're going to be using, and there is an additional cost of some kind. So just keep that in the back of your head with that. One suggestion that I should have said out loud, but I didn't, is that when we talk about the backgrounds, okay, thank you, Tom, for this. When we talk about the background images, the tile is really best used for like a pattern that is easily repeatable. Okay, so think like a checkered pattern or think like a chevron pattern, whatever. As long as it is designed to be tiled or repeated, it works really well in the background. One more question from Eric for background images. And Eric's concerned specifically for a situation like this. What types of videos are these and where can I find them? So if I wanted to turn this into a video instead, what I would do is I would simply click edit. And then on my style tab, I would change my background image to video. And then from here, I'd add a video, which I would pull from YouTube or Vimeo. I'd find a video, preferably that the client has already, copy and paste that URL into here, and it'll play in the background of this post. And that's it. That is all you got to worry about. I'll take one last question, and then we will cut you guys loose unless something else comes through that's really, really a good question. By the way, last minute reminder, if you want to Google SiteSwan and click on the reviews link and you post a win, I'm going to enter 3 people in for a dynamite water bottle. Looks like this, got the SiteSwan logo on it. First 3 to post the win, we'll make it happen. Just send send a screenshot of your review to info@siteswan.com and we will take care of you. Just says, is there a digital form you'd recommend to help tax prep companies digitize current PDF checklist? Wow. A current PDF checklist. So what I'm assuming that you're saying is they have a PDF right now that they ask their clients to check a bunch of different things, and you would like to somehow digitize that. So my number one suggestion would be to look at a form builder company. I have a couple I would suggest. The first one from the resources section of your dashboard is Cognito Forms right over here. Cognito Forms is a very, I would say, intuitive form builder. I don't know if they'll take a PDF and convert it to an online form, but I know that they'll do exactly this. Lots of checkboxes, super long forms, do 1,000,001 things with. Does come at a cost, but again, if you're doing this for someone, you probably should be charging them not only a setup fee to build a custom form. I've charged upwards of $100 per custom form that someone needs because there's a variety of things you use forms for. It's not just like submit your information. It's like, fill out a registration for upcoming race, or in this case, do your intake form for your credit application or whatever, right? Cognito Forms allows you to do all that and a lot more. Charge them not only for the setup fee for the form build out, but also a monthly fee to maintain it because you'll be paying a monthly fee. And usually I see people, if you're going to, whatever, they have like $20 a month plans. I would charge at least $20 just for the one client to manage that. All right. Daryl snuck one in at the last minute. I'll answer this the best I possibly can. Is there an add-on to sell gift certificates via the website? Daryl, there's so many moving parts with gift certificates. Think about that for a second. If someone's buying a certificate, how are you going to validate it, right? Some POS systems, that means point of sale systems, will require that you scan in with one of those laser guns a barcode in order to validate a gift card. Well, how the heck are you going to do that, right? You can integrate with their POS system. So the good news is that a lot of times their POS system they currently have has the ability to allow you to sell gift cards. And it's a link that you can pop onto the client's site that simply allows you to go in and do it. I'll show you one example really quickly that I happen to know off the top of my head. And here's a company that does the gift card purchase. It's a homepage link that you click on, and it just takes you to the POS system to complete the purchase of a gift card. Okay. This is a very common practice, and it's something that you can help your client get set up with that won't really involve any heavy lifting on your side. Because the last thing you want to do is start getting your hands into their financials. And that could be a little hairy of a situation to be in when you want to worry about redemption and stuff like that. So use whatever their current system might offer. If they don't offer one, you can always offer the old-fashioned way. And that's that they fill out a form. Again, go to Cognito Forms for this. Okay, go to Cognito Forms. And you can hook up payment to forms. So someone says, I want to buy a gift certificate for $65. They choose it from a drop down. And their form can be hooked up to like PayPal or Stripe or whatever. And then they can complete a transaction to purchase when they complete the form. The business owner gets an email saying, hey, John Smith purchased a $65 gift certificate. Send it out to him. Here's his address. So they could do that like the old school way. And they'll go and handwrite out a gift certificate to John Smith, put it in an envelope, send it to the address, and send it out. They got to wait a couple days, of course, but that is something they could do as well. Those are your options. All right. All right. And be sure to charge extra for that. Any custom form, be sure to charge extra for it. All right. I want to make a quick announcement here. We have the next session we are going to be getting together for is going to be this time next week. We're going to be talking specifically and exclusively about the 14-day launch plan. So if you've got questions or unsure how to get through this, and maybe you haven't done a coaching call yet one-on-one, or you have, and you just want some additional help, additional insight, we generally stay on topic for this. Sometimes we drift a little bit, but this 14-day launch plan session coming up next week, same time on Friday. I would love to see as many of you here as possible. We're guaranteed to have some fun. You might walk away with a couple of ideas, tricks, and of course, we'll hear everyone's wins again. So I want to hear anyone who shows up to that. I want you to put in some work in the next 6 days and bring something to the table to start that conversation so that we can talk about wins, celebrate them together, and go from there. The following week, we'll have another one of these sessions. Ask Me Anything on the 13th, as of right now, in March, and then again on the 27th. So that's our upcoming agenda for these group sessions. You guys are awesome. I love doing these with you. I love having you all on here, and I love getting the opportunity to chat with you all. If I did not respond to anything, it just means that my assumption is that my team has already addressed it to their best possible ability. I can't really offer anything beyond that. But if it does require a ticket, we'll either create it for you, you can create it, and we'll take it from there. Last reminder, if you want to leave a review for us, really appreciate it. First 3, get a water bottle, send it to info@siteswan.com, and we'll take care of you. Love you all. Thanks for being a part of the SiteSwan family. Have a great Friday and the rest of your nice weekend. Go out and make something happen. We'll talk to you later.